What about Mr. Forrest Mommy? When did you meet him? He's not a public figure. He's not on
Not
the
at all. He's
internet.
never been on any social media. Never,
Wow.
ever, ever, ever. He's a little older than me. It's kind of cliche, but
Yeah.
he's a contractor. He's done construction. He used to be a firefighter and had to retire early because it was a federal facility that got shut down. So he's always just like been blessed and
He
stuff.
exists in a totally different universe than you in terms of like your online presence
Oh
and
yeah.
all that.
Like when I
But
have my Forest Mommy parties, I'm like, they're all like, it's just funny, it's one of those things that works.
yeah, you're talking about even like hosting live events. It's kind of like still like your thing that he supports and not so much a thing that he's like.
Yeah, he's not into it.
He's not a political person
Oh no,
at
he's
all.
definitely very conservative and stuff.
Yeah.
But definitely not like as informed as I am over the last couple of years, I'll say.
Yeah. He in some ways like a buddy said like we outsource the stuff. Like no one could really know every story, every detail of everything, but you kind of like outsource it to the people you trust and like the most in your echo chamber that you follow. Like it's what everyone
He's definitely
kind of
not as
does.
radical as me. He's like, you have to pay your taxes because I'm a 1099 employee. So he's like, you have to do it. And I'm like, oh, fine.
Was that part of the attraction and the draw of him is that that he was not like a person who's the type of person who has like an online presence, is the type of person who's gonna like keep you, but you were never like a bad kid or a
Well,
bad,
we
but you
met early. Like we met in 20. I mean, we started date. I say our date, like our start is 2010. So it's still like when first Facebook was still fairly new and stuff.
right.
No, I think most of the attraction was you don't have to work if you don't want to. That was a
I
big
love
part of it. I'm just saying.
I love the honesty.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I'll be honest. I have no problem. I always say
yeah.
I went from a strong independent woman to a strong dependent woman, and I am fine with it. So
Yeah, the key is to have strength, I think. Like strength is it's important to have
you
strength.
have to add things to people's lives to help them be best at them, right? And
Yeah.
I'm best at me apparent now, so
You complete Mr. Forrest Mommy.
Yeah.
I might title this episode "Forrest Mommy Loves Mr. Forrest Mommy." We don't obviously we don't have to like give away his. He's not like that's why I was asking. He's not a
I know
public
I always
figure.
laugh like I was on with when I was on what's his name? McWillie. What's his name?
Brian McWilliams.
Yeah. When I was on that night. And then Clint always makes fun of me because he's like, where is he in a box? I'm like, yeah. It's like he's in a cage. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's totally not like that at all. It's very traditional, non-traditional.
Yeah, you're in the cage. That's just like
I'm fine with it.
the shoe closet cage.
Yeah.
Where are your snow boots? Did I ask you that already? Because I see a lot of
They're down. I
heels.
have some boots up here. They're downstairs.
You have like
So
snow gear and all that stuff.
yeah, I ski and do all that stuff.
That's cool.
Snowshoe.
I feel privileged or something that I'm getting a little bit of info on Mr. Forrest Mommy.
I
The
know a lot of
man.
people like don't like some people in the Liberty community have met him. All my
Yeah,
Colorado people I have them
yeah,
have
I
met
figured in
him.
person maybe some people have, but like online, obviously, like most people have no
Yeah,
clue
because they
who.
don't. He's not on it. So
Yeah, and he like you said, you're would you say you know more than him half?
I do,
You,
and I'm
you're
also not
more
like
you're
on there talking
informed.
about relationship. I'm on there fucking against
Yeah,
the government the whole
yeah,
time. So it's
yeah.
like he doesn't come up much.
Yeah, he got arrested today. You got him into some hot water with the
I
government. I could
know.
see
That's why
something like
he's always like, one of these days.
yeah.
Because I go to the protests and stuff, and then he's like, but someone has to work. So.
But that's good but him just saying like, oh, whatever, like having like a sarcastic sigh or something like that, that's supportive because I mean, that's good because you don't want someone who's like working against you or
Oh no,
has
he
beliefs
definitely
on
lets me
that are
be
not the same.
me. He
Yeah.
definitely has let me because we've been together 13 years now, and it's like I get more and more me as every year goes on. So
Yeah. Maybe I could see that. What about like your interest in politics? Like you were saying, you're pretty up on the news and knowledgeable about what's going on in the world, at least the best you can. Was there some kind of like red pilling moment? You said you were kind of grew up conservative, but like obviously you're more libertarian minded now, I guess. Was that like Ron Paul 2008 or like 2012
I
or something else?
wish. I wish it was I wish I had known about so I was on my own and working at that time, but I didn't pay attention to politics at that. I was on my own. I knew I hated the government at that point, but I also so believed like, oh, the left hates the government and hates war and all that stuff. But that wasn't true. And then 2008, the DNC was out here in Denver. So I didn't go to it, but like I was hanging around with all that stuff. So I was like in Obama, the change and stuff, but I didn't know. Like you don't know what you don't know. And I didn't pay
Right.
attention. And I was just like, I'm just working. So I would say really my super red pill. I wasn't super leftist. Like I said, I started out a strong independent woman and I became dependent 10 years later, and that was fine. I'm not like against that kind of stuff, but the red pilling definitely started in 2016 where it was like I used to be on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook anymore. I was on Facebook when it like once they first started letting people who didn't go to college on, I was like, hell yeah, like because it used to be only college only, and then I was like, well, I didn't go to college, but I loved Facebook, and then I started seeing, I'm like, wait a minute, what are these? Like, you could see the algorithms and all that stuff starting feeding people even back in 2016, obviously with Trump and Hillary and all that. And I got red pilled a lot on stuff, just like what's going on. And then when COVID hit, I was like, I was done. I was like, this is all bullshit. It's all bullshit from the
So it
moment
was
it's
I was gonna so in 2016 it was just more of like the corporate influence and social media became like more apparent to you that like you were that there were narratives being controlled and politics wasn't not that you thought it was ever people were acting in good faith, but it was more like clear evidence that like
they're
what
feeding us stuff, especially like I remember after the whole Charlottesville thing, the very fine people, right? Like I remember I saw that video early on where he didn't say what they were saying he
yeah,
said.
they edited it to make him
Yeah.
look bad.
And I remember seeing that and I was like, what's that? Like what's that about? Why would you guys and then they don't fix it. They don't go back and like change it. So yeah, I
It's
remember
evil
yeah.
stuff. Very
Yeah.
evil.
And
Yeah.
we all know that like now we all know and I knew it was going on then and they had a documentary come out in like 2018 or 2019 called The Great Hack about the Cambridge Analytica stuff. I don't know if you knew about that stuff. But it was basically what Facebook and everything does for the government directly now. What Twitter was doing, what we found out recently, what Twitter was like it's all this stuff it's been going on forever where they just
Yeah.
want to brainwash people and
And since 2016 it's gotten even more overtly political, like I've seen the replies on the Twitter stuff like saying, yeah, let's see what Facebook and Instagram and Google and YouTube are all up to, and like those are even some of the most over the top platforms in terms of censorship, algorithms, and shadow banning, and just
and
all kinds of high.
campaigns like the whole even back then and the supposedly the whole lock her up and a couple other those terms were like paid for campaigns which we all figure but it's all fucked up now.